Hey everybody, it's Dr. Michele Drake and I'm here today with Moki to talk to you about beach safety. Moki does not go to the beach very often. It's not his favorite place, but I'm sure a lot of you love to bring your dogs to the beach, and there's so many dogs that it's such a great place for them to have a good time, and we've got a couple awesome places like Dog Beach. So I just want to talk to you about some things to make sure you keep your pet safe. So first and foremost, a concern that I have is in the summer the sand gets really hot, and I think people are unaware of pavement and sand as being hot. And I always tell people really anytime after 10 o'clock in the morning in the summer, it's gonna be too hot. Just be aware of that. Keep your dog, if you're gonna go from the pavement, if you're like unloading your car in the pavement, it's 12 o'clock, it can be boiling and burn their feet. And they'll be doing this and you have no idea what they're doing because you yourself have shoes on, flip-flops or whatever. The sand can be really hot as well. So we want to make sure that the dogs have shade, that they have an opportunity to cool their feet. So the ocean, of course, is nice and cool, and the sand next to the ocean is cool, and under shade is cool, but everywhere else that sand can be really hot. I don't know why at Del Mar, the sand on the beach there, it gets kind of a lot of blackness in it, but it does, and which makes it extra dark. So be careful of their feet out on the pavement, anywhere, middle of the day, besides the beach, just be careful of the pavement being hot. Take your own shoe off, put your foot on it for about a minute. If you're burning your foot, then their pads are also burning. Okay, so just keep that, be aware of that. Overheating is something else we need to get concerned about. We don't want dogs overheating. Dogs don't sweat like we do, so we just want to be careful that they can overheat quickly, and a lab will run himself to death before he stops doing what he's doing to please you and have fun with you. So just be aware that, again, between 10 and 2 especially, super dangerous time to be exercising our dogs, especially if the humidity's up, because dogs can only cool themselves by panting, and like their paws will sweat a little bit, but otherwise they can't keep cool. So make sure they have water about every 20 minutes and they have shade. And in the middle of the day, if your dog's not super fit, they probably shouldn't exercise at all, okay? So we have heat, we have the sun, and the heat of the feet, but also dogs, just remember when you go to a place where dogs are off leash, that there's some dogs that probably shouldn't be there off leash because they may be aggressive. So just be really careful, especially with younger dogs and smaller dogs. We sew up dogs here all the time, have to do surgery on them because they tussle with a dog that probably shouldn't have been out there. But no matter what, dogs are animals, and sometimes they're gonna mix it up and there's gonna be a dog fight. Anytime there's bite wounds on a dog, you need to come in. That is something you cannot see what goes on underneath the skin. So if your dog ever gets in a dog fight, please bring them in. It is something that needs to be addressed every single time because bite wounds are always infected. So be careful with other dogs, especially big ones. In the water, dogs swimming in the ocean, they don't have any magical way of knowing waves and understanding riptides and things like that. So you need to be really careful of your dog when there's any kind of wave action, or just dogs, whether or not they know how to swim. Not all dogs know how to swim, and dogs do drown in water that can either be too rough or just they don't know how to do it, or they get exhausted out there. So just be aware, be mindful that your dog may not have super swimming skills or skills at all, or they can exhaust themselves, or there's tides out there or waves that they're just not capable of handling. One more thing to add is salt water is not made to be drank. If you guys ever drank water, accidentally salt water yourself, you get really nauseous and it can definitely induce vomiting. There is even a rare situation where if a dog ingests too much salt, it can cause salt poisoning, which causes brain edema. Usually dogs will vomit before that happens because the salt is just so overwhelming for their guts that they'll vomit. But just remember, dogs will not always know they're not supposed to drink salt water, and it can make them sick. Just make sure you bring lots of fresh water for them in a bowl so that they can get to fresh water and don't accidentally drink the salt water instead. So just good common sense, be careful, be aware, and have a great summer.